An exiled soldier stayed hidden in silence until 5 alien widows chose him as their last hope. Jonah Rook. The sharp voice cut through the scrapyard clang. Jonah froze mid-step, his hand dropping to the multi-tool in his pocket. 5 alien women emerged from behind rusted hulls, their iridescent scales glinting under flickering dock lights. The leader, broad-shouldered with scarred arms, planted herself in his path. Vaisha Talan. Dock worker. He recognized her. From station. Whispers. The others fanned out. A medic with steady eyes. A scavenger clutching a satchel. A navigator scanning exits. An elder gripping a cane like a weapon. "We know who you are," Vaisha said. "Exiled soldier, hiding in the junk. We need you." Jonah scanned the yard. No drones yet. He kept his voice low. "Walk away. Now." Vaisha crossed her arms. "Our kin are taken. Traffickers hit our hab block last cycle. 5 daughters. Gone. Security does nothing. You go in." He edged back, eyes on shadows. "Not my fight." A whine pierced the air. Drone. Red eye blinked above a crumpled freighter. It locked on them. Jonah yanked his multi-tool. Thumb flicked the EMP spike. He hurled it upward in one fluid arc. The drone sparked, plummeted, and shattered on slag. The widows flinched. Eerie Kale, the medic, stared at the wreck. "How?" "No charge pack. Practice," Jonah said. He grabbed Vaisha's arm. "Cover. Move." They scrambled behind a gutted engine block. Surni Pavo, the scavenger, pressed low, her claws scraping metal. "That was station patrol tech. You fried it clean." Mara Dane, navigator, checked her wrist pad. "More inbound." 2 minutes. Tala Vorn, the elder, stepped forward. Her cane tapped deliberate. She extended her palm. 5 black widow marks gleamed there. Etched circuits. Station issued for bereaved matrons. Legal leverage. "These bind us. We invoke Sanctuary Pact. Help us." Rook. "We shield you from Haskrel. Full exoneration petition. Your exile ends." Jonah crouched, breath steady. Haskrel hunted him for that freighter brawl, self-defense. But humans got no mercy here. These marks could buy time. But traffickers? Kervoss's crew. He'd crossed paths once. "Bad men. Risk's mine," he said. "You die, I vanish." Vaisha snarled. "We gamble on you. Exiles don't last without allies." Raid. Endi. Gar. 2. Endi. Exiles. Tala's eyes locked his. "Recon only? Prove it." Jonah waited. Safety screamed run. But their stares raw, unbreaking pulled. He'd lost his squad to similar silence. "Not again. 3 rules," he said. 1. My lead. No questions. 2. You arm light. Stay back unless I call. 3. Abort on my word. No heroes. Vaisha nodded first. "Done." "When?" "Dusk. Your navigator plots ingress. Meet at Bay 7. They slipped out as drone debris cooled. Jonah retrieved his tool, pulse steady. Strangers trusted him. Now, he had to earn it. Jonah ghosted through underbelly vents, the widows trailing at a distance. Mara Dane's route dodged patrols. Tight squeezes past coolant leaks. Her gestures sharp. Left. Hold. Crawl. Vaisha whispered from behind. "Tight fit for you, human. Breathe shallow," he replied. No time for chatter. They emerged in a service tunnel. Dim glow strips lit Voss's warehouse ahead. Sealed bays, guard posts. Laughter echoed traffickers boasting. Goal. Eyes on captives. No contact. Jonah signaled halt. He crept forward. Belly low. Peered. Through grate. Cages. 10 pods. Cryo-locked. Alien young. Scaled like the widows. 5 matched descriptions. Vaish's niece. Among them. Wide-eyed. Even in stasis. Kurvos paced outside. Human. Bald. Scarred. Rel's closing the noose. Double guards. A guard grunted. That exile human? Rumor says he's ghosted. Voss laughed. If he shows, we bag him for bonus. Jonah's jaw tightened. Voss knew infantry tells. Backtrack. Widows waited, tense. Sighted. Eerie Kale leaned in. Injuries? Stable. Cryo. Cerny Pavo fingered her satchel. I got breaching charges. No. Jonah's voice steel. Recon only. Rule 3. Jonah's voice. Tala nodded. He leads. Vesha gripped his sleeve. They scream in dreams. Can't leave. Footsteps echoed. Patrol. Jonah shoved them into alcove. Quiet. 2 guards passed. Oblivious. Mara traced escape vector on pad. Clear. They retreated. Surface level. Rain-slick docks. Waited. No. Focus. Jonah shook it off. Action. Now. Visha blocked him. Full rescue. Tonight. Tomorrow, he countered. Prep your ends. I need schematics. Dawn cycle. Jonah met them in a derelict shuttle husk. Cerny unloaded gear. Pulse rifles. Scavenged from wrecks. Light arms. Per rule. Eerie patched a cut on Mara's arm from vent scrape. Human skin bruises easy. Hold still. Battle scar, Jonah said. He checked rifle charge. Balanced. Familiar weight. Tala distributed widow marks now embedded in data chips. These ping enforcers. Hask Rel owes favors. We call. He stalls. Voss. Risky. Hask wanted Jonah's head. Visha synced her comm. Plan? Jonah sketched on bulkhead. Mara vectors us in. Cerny breaches side door. Eerie covers med. Tala signals Hask distraction. Vesha, you and me extract. Eyes on him. Trust built in glances. Siren wailed. Docks shook. Mara checked pad. Raid alert. Voss moving cargo. Now, Jonah said. Move. They piled into Mara's jury-rigged skiff. Engines hummed low. She wove through traffic lanes. Alien precision dodging freighters. Warehouse loomed. Guards doubled, but Hask's patrol lights flashed opposite vector distraction held. Cerny slapped charge. Door buckled silent. Inside. Voss barking orders. Load 'em. Exile tip-off. Jonah surged. Rifle butt cracked, first guard's jaw. Second spun knife out. Jonah sidestepped. Drove elbow into throat. Down. Vesha flunked. Stun prod ready. Clear left. Pods hummed. Jonah sliced cryo locks, manual override. Infantry trick. Girls stirred. Groggy. Eerie triaged fast. Stable. Move. Alarms blared. Voss rounded corner. Eyes widened on Jonah. Rook. Knew it. Voss drew plasma pistol. Jonah rolled. Fired suppressed burst. Voss's leg buckled. He crawled for comm. Cerny stomped it. Mine. Chaos. Guards poured in. Mara sealed exit. Tala's cane sparked jammer live. Jonah scooped 2 girls. Visha grabbed hers. Skiff roared. Pursuit drones screamed behind. Mara jinked hard. Strap in. Jonah braced, firing out ramp. Drone. Exploded. Hab block ahead. Safe zone. They offloaded. Girls clung to mothers. Tears. Scales flushing color. Vesha faced him. Hand on shoulder. Tala pressed chip into his palm. Marks vouch. Hask stands down. Marks. Eerie bandaged a girl. Cerny grinned. But skiff scanners pinged. Heavy enforcer ship inbound. Hask's voice crackled on open channel. Rook, stand down. Voss claims you first. Betrayal? Or Voss's lie? Jonah chambered round. Widows rallied behind. Trust sealed. Not running, he said. Together. Pursuit closed. Engines thundered. Fight just started. Mara yanked the shuttle's throttle. The stolen utility craft lurched through the station's underbelly vents, scraping hull plates with a screech. Jonah sprawled on the deck, floor plan hologram flickering in his palm. Blue lines traced patrol routes. Red gaps blinked 3 minutes max. Left at junction 12. Drones cluster right. Mara's frilled crest flared under her helmet. Tight fit. Strap or bounce. He wedged against a bulkhead. Shuttle banked hard. Alarms whooped proximity ping. Jonah traced a finger over the holo. Cargo bays nested deep in Sector 7. Guards rotated every 90. Gap opens in 4. Punch it. Engines whined. They burst into maintenance drift. Mara killed thrust. We're ghosts. Your move. Jonah nodded. Slid the deck plate aside. Air recycler hummed below. He dropped feet first, mag boots clamping rungs. Floor plan, committed to memory. Kiosk sat at registry core blind spot to patrols. Vesha's voice crackled in his earpiece. Hask's teams sweep outer rims. You ghosted? Affirm. Jonah crawled. Ducts reeked of ozone and lubricant. Scales of alien script glowed on walls, station nav. He matched it to plan. Kiosk ahead. Cerny chimed in. Oxygen crate secured. Erie's forging papers now. Don't get caught first. He smirked. Silent infantry rule. Move unseen. Crawl space narrowed. He squeezed, shoulders scraping. Light ahead, kiosk hatch. Popped the grate. Empty booth. Jonah vaulted in. Console hummed. Live. He jacked his multi-tool. Hack routine spun old military bypass. Screen flickered. Live transfer schedule loaded. Cargo manifest scrolled. Captives listed as live freight. Cryo sealed. Container IDs pinged. Jonah cross-refed floor plan. Bay 14. Tagged it on his wrist comp. Departure slot. 5 hours. 52 minutes. Heart kicked. Less than 6. No time for error. Footsteps echoed. Jonah yanked tool free. Dove for crawl space as boot scales thudded past. Guard paused. Sniffed. Moved on. Clear. Jonah exhaled. Tagged container beacon armed pulse tracker for assault. He sealed hatch. Back into ducts. Shuttle waited. Mara gunned it on his ping. They skimmed vents to pick up. Erie's clinic squatted in the hab sprawl. Faded signs promised. Fast patch. No questions. Inside, Cerny wrestled the stolen oxygen crate onto a gurney. 4 tanks gleamed. Seals intact. Irie adjusted her tunic official clinic. Tech weave. Requisition stamped. They'll buy it. She glanced at Jonah. You? Schedule pulled. Bay 14. Leave soon. He spread the floor plan on the table. Widows crowded in. Tala leaned on her cane, eyes sharp. Vesha tapped the holo. Patrol gaps here. We hit during shift change. Cerny grinned, tusks flashing. I rig breaching charges from scrap. Boom. Doors open. Mara traced routes. Stolen skiff parks, shadow dock. I fly, extract. Tight window. Eerie-eyed Jonah. He nodded. Infantry, override. Pops in 10 seconds. Tala's voice cut calm. Hask closes nets. Voss's raiders guard the bay. We strike now, or kin ships out. Jonah met her gaze. Exiled for less. But these widows bet on him. Trust, sealed in glances, shared plans. We strike. Alarms didn't wait. Jonah led the infill. They piled into Mara's skiff, low profile. Engines muffled. Cerny rode shotgun. Crate lashed down. Oxygen for cryothaw. Mara slipped them past outer patrols. Jonah monitored wrist comp. Beacon pulsed steady. Bay 14 loomed. Drones inbound, Mara hissed. Skiff dipped into shadow. Jonah prepped rifle. Suppressed rounds loaded. Skiff bumped hull. Airlock hissed open. Jonah ghosted out. Magnetic clamps gripped deck. Bay doors sealed ahead. Guards patrolled Voss's thugs, human-aligned scum. He hugged shadows. Service panel pried open. Wires sparked. He spliced tracker deeper nanotag on container mag latch. Live feed confirmed. Pods inside. 5 small forms. Widow's daughters. Timer ticked. 5 hours 40. Footsteps. Jonah melted into grating. Guard passed. Comm chattering. Voss says double watch. Some human sniffing. Close. Jonah waited. Clear. He bolted for recycler. Ducked escape route. Mapped. Ducked swallowed him. Clangs echoed behind. Pursuit? No. Just routine. He tumbled into pickup vent. Mara snatched him aboard. Skiff peeled away. Back at clinic. Team debriefed. Jonah synced data. Container tagged. Oxygen ready. Assault window. Gap 12. 90 minutes post-shift. Vesha gripped his arm. Scales warmed trust flush. Training. Jonah packed gear. No brag. Just fact. Eerie tested cryo override on mock lock. Clicked open. Human hands steady. Ours shake. Cerny slapped crate. My boom seals it. Tala nodded. Hask's enforcers circle. He wants you. Jonah. Voss profits either way. Then we end both. Jonah chambered round. But skiff scanners pinged early. Heavy. Signature inbound. Hask's enforcer ship. Vesha tensed. He knows. Jonah checked comp. Container beacon flared guards swarming bay. Departure accelerated. 4 hours now. Change plans, Mara said. Hit now. Tala's cane-wrapped floor. United. Jonah stood. Gear up. They launched. Skiff roared toward bay. Drones screamed intercept. Jonah fired from ramp, drone shredded. Mara jinked. Guards at bay. Voss's voice barked over comms. Lock it down. Jonah surged. Rifle butt cracked first guard's jaw. Wait, no. That looped back. Focus snapped. No. This was prep. Assault brewed, but ping intensified. Hask's ship closed hab block. Clinic shook. Bulkhead rattled. They're here, Eerie whispered. Jonah barred door. Rifle up. Widows flanked. Weapons drawn. Hask's voice boomed outside. Rook. Surrender. Voss fingers you for raids. Lie. Fuss hid captives. Jonah signaled silence. Peaked scanner. Enforcers. Mast. Vesha whispered. Trust us? He nodded. Together. Door buckled. Breach charge whined. Fight ignited. But wrist comp buzzed. Container data updated. Voss moved at New Bay. Departure. 3 hours. Hook sank. They had to break out first. Enforcers poured. Jonah fired 2 down. Cerny charged. Crate shield. Oxygen tanks clanged. Eerie patched a graze on Mara's arm. Go! Tala sparked yammer. Comms died. They fought corridor. Jonah covered rear. Bullet pinged. Helmet grazed. Widows pushed. Vesha stunned one. For kin! Hab block ahead. Safe? No. Voss's trap closing. Jonah glanced back. Hask advanced. Plasma rifle leveled. Human ends here. Not yet. Jonah primed flashbang. Rolled it. Blast. They ran. Skiff waited. Mara at sticks. Pursuit locked. Engines thundered. But container beacon pulsed. Tagged true. Assault still on. Departure. They banked for Bay 14. Drones swarmed. Jonah braced ramp. Marayeld. Straps. Skiff dove. Collision. Loomed. Collision. Loomed. Voss waited inside. Recognition dawned too late. Girls' pods hummed. Time crushed. Jonah mapped final gap. Now. They struck. No. Rewind beat. Backstep to kiosk escape. Jonah crawled faster. Alarms faint. Shuttle extracted clean. Clinic huddle. But Hask pinged then. Early warning. No. Pure infil. Jonah infiltrated kiosk solo. Pulled schedule. IDs locked. Container 14. Cryo 5. Departure 5:52. Escape duct. Guards missed by seconds. Cerny and Erie synced oxygen steel. Fake reek slid past clerk. Erie. Clinic burn victim. Urgent. RI. Erie. Clerk waved through. Crate loaded. Captain Haskrell slammed Vesha against the checkpoint bulkhead. His enforcers fanned out. Rifles trained on the crate. Jonah gripped his concealed pistol tighter. Crouched in the shadows of stacked cargo pallets. The other widows froze Erie, clutching her medkit. Cerny palming a vibro cutter. Mara scanning escape vectors. Tala whispering into a comm bead. Harboring a fugitive. Talon. Rel snarled, snapping mag cuffs on Vesha's wrists. The human exile. Deliver Jonah Rook, or your little raid ends here. Your kin's pods? Collateral. Vesha twisted, tusks bared. Prove it. Station code demands evidence. Rel's laugh echoed off the metal walls. Evidence? I have your heat sigs on the kiosk cams. 1 hour. Bring the killer to intake. Or you rot. Enforcers dragged Vesha away. The checkpoint gate clanged shut behind them. Drones hummed overhead. Scanning. Jonah rose. She's buying us time. We move. No, Tala hissed, eyes fierce. Rel's baiting you. We reroute. Cerny hefted the crate. Pods are stable. 2 blocks to the skiff. Mara nodded. Ducks east. But Vesha, Jonah cut her off. I go. Station code 47B. Unlawful detention voids charges on collateral aid. Irie's tendrils quivered. You walk in. They cage you too. Trust me. Jonah met Vesha's last glare in his mind. She'd spat defiance for them all. He owed her. They split. Widows hauled the crate into maintenance ducts. Jonah strode the main corridor, hands visible, toward security intake. Station-side eyes widened at the human, in battered fatigues. Whispers rippled. He ignored them. Intake loomed reinforced doors, scan arches, 2 guards at the desk. I surrender, Jonah announced, palms up. Under code 47. B. Release. Vesha, Talan. The desk guard blinked scaled lids. Human. Your priority 1. Cuffs. They swarmed him. Mag cuffs bit his wrists. Rough hands shoved him through the arch. No weapons pinged. His pistol ditched in a vent. Captain Rel emerged from a side office. Plasma rifle slung. Vesha stood cuffed in a holding booth behind him. Bruised, but unbowed. Rook. Rel's mandibles clicked. Bold. Talon goes free if you comply. Voss wants you alive for questions. Jonah locked eyes with Vesha. She nodded once. Sharp. Code first, Jonah said. Process the release. Rel signaled. A junior enforcer tapped a console. Vesha's cuffs popped. She rubbed wrists, stepping forward. Not so fast, Jonah added. Camera, blind spot for transfer. Protocol for high-risk exiles. Rel's eyes narrowed. Trying tricks? Station code 22C. Privacy during initial hold. Jonah recited it flat. Veteran discipline masking the gamble. Rel waited. Fine. Corridor 3. Blind till cells. They marched him out. Vesha trailed, escorted by 2 guards. The corridor narrowed. No cams, just dim emergency strips and great floors. Pipes hissed overhead. Jonah stumbled deliberate, shoulder-checking a guard. "Watch it, meet." The guard swung. Jonah rolled with it, crashing into the wall. Grunts echoed. Chaos bloomed. Vaisha lunged. Her elbow cracked one's jaw. Jonah twisted cuffs, strained but held. He kicked low, toppling the second guard into pipes. Steam vented. Scalding. "Key!" Jonah barked. Vaisha snatched it from the stunned guard's belt. She jammed it into his cuffs. Click. Free. Jonah scooped a dropped stun baton. One zap per guard down, twitching. Vaisha grabbed a rifle. Clean? For now. Jonah stripped a guard's keycard. Back. Way out? Back. Way. Out. She pointed. Service hatch. But Rel's alerting. Her comm buzzed. Tala's voice. Blackout in 30. I burned my last favor with the elders. Grid down. Bay 14. 1 hour max. Move. Jonah nodded. Trust. Sealed in action. No words needed. Vaisha's hand brushed his arm, lingering a beat. Gratitude in her eyes. And something warmer. They bolted. Hatch grated open. Ducks again. Alarms wailed faint through walls. Rel's roar chased. Lockdown. Human loose. Jonah led, mapping from memory. Tight squeezes tested his frame. Vaisha, slimmer, ahead. She glanced back. Why risk it? For strangers? Strangers fought with me. He squeezed past a junction. You trusted first. She huffed, almost a laugh. Sharp-tongued human. Voss's men swarm bays. Your plan? Skiffs rigged. Cerny's parts. Mara's nav. We punch out. Ducked spat them into a dim sublevel. Footsteps thundered pursuit closing. Jonah shouldered a door. Cargo bay edge. Drones whirred distant. Tala waited in shadows. Jammer active. Pods secure. Eerie patched Mara. Cerny hot-wired the skiff. Lights flickered. Blackout hit. Entire sector plunged dark. Emergency reds pulsed. Go! Jonah waved them. They sprinted. Skiff ramp dropped Mara at controls. Engines growling. Cerny waved from the hold. Eerie sealed the crate. Vaisha vaulted aboard first. Jonah covered rear. Stun baton ready. Shadows shifted. Enforcers breached the bay. Plasma bolts sizzled past. Jonah dove, firing back. Guard crumpled. Strap in, Mara yelled. Ramp, wind up. Jonah tumbled inside as skiff lurched. G-forces pinned him beside Vaisha. Her hand found his again, firm grip. Pursuit skiffs ignited. Lights piercing blackout. Mara banked hard, threading cargo stacks. Drones locked on. Cerny whooped from the turret. My mounts! Bolts traded. One drone shredded. Jonah braced a bulkhead port. Picking shots. Human aim steady. Drilled. Vaisha leaned close. They underestimate you. All of us. Teamwork. He squeezed her hand back. Bond forged in fire. Tala monitored scopes. Voss's ship container hauler. Tagged our beacon. Intercept in 10. Eerie prepped stims. Wounds? Save 'em. Jonah eyed the crate. 5 pods hummed Widow's kin. Safe. Worth it. Mara dodged a missile lock. Bay 14 clear. But Rel's fleet, inbound. Blackout ticked down. Lights flickered on sector-wide. Exposed. Jonah stood. Final push. Mara, gap at vector 2 to 7. She punched it. Skiff groaned. Collision alarms blared. Voss's hauler loomed massive, bays yawning. Recognition hit Jonah. Same rig from kiosk logs. Trafficker scum. Guards poured from it. Plasma. Crisscrossed. Cerny nailed 2. Jonah fired precise 3 down. Human infantry rhythm. Unflinching. Vaisha covered him. Inside. Skiff rammed the hauler's bay lip. Sparks flew. Ramp dropped into chaos. They charged. Pods first. Eerie and Tala dragged the crate. Cerny flanked. Kurvos spun from a console. Human eyes widened. Rook? Station Spec Ops. Should have known. Too late. Jonah closed. Botan cracked Voss's knee. He dropped. Keys, Jonah growled. Voss spat. Pods locked. Biometrics. Tala shoved forward. My favor bought overrides. She slapped a pad. Pods hissed open. Girls stirred groggy, alive. Widows rushed them. Rel's fleet closed on scopes. Docking clamps engaged, trapped. Jonah scanned. Escape pods. Mara? Plotted. She ran. But enforcers breached the bay. Rel led, rifle leveled. Endgame human. Vesha pulled a girl close. Others formed up behind Jonah. He stepped forward, surrendered hands up. Talk. Station clamps locked. Doors sealed. Voss smirked from deck. No escape. Rel's mandibles split in triumph. Yours now, Voss. Jonah met Vesha's gaze. Trust held. Hidden blade in his boot, plan B. They weren't done. Alarms peaked. Fleet inbound. 1 hour gone. Fight reignited. Nobody shoots unless I say. Jonah's voice cut through the bay chaos like a knife. Plasma bolts scorched bulkheads inches from his boot. Enforcers fanned out behind Rel. Rifles trained on the cluster of widows, girls, and Voss, sprawled on the deck. Vesha yanked a groggy girl behind a cargo crate. The others followed. Tala shielding 2 more with her body. Cerny slapped a fresh clip into her scavenged pistol. Eyes locked on Jonah. Rel advanced, mandibles clicking. Hands stay up, Rook. Your exiles end here. Voss claims bounty. Widows? Obstruction charges. Jonah kept palms open. Empty. His boot blade pressed against his ankle, last resort. Buy time. Scan the bay. Enforcers numbered 12. Hauler bays sealed. Scopes showed Rel's fleet docking in minutes. One way out. Hull breach. Biometrics release the pods, Jonah said. Girls are free. No need for bodies. Voss laughed from the deck, knee clutched. Eerie crouched near the girls, scanner humming over bruises. Her tendrils flicked calm under fire. Mara hovered at a side console, fingers flying over shuttle plots. Cerny broke cover first. She dragged a satchel from the skiff ramp, dumped it on a flickering cargo table. Contraband spilled. Mining charges, det cord, hull sealant, plasma coils, stolen station guts. Talk later, Cerny growled, voice gravel from salvage dust. Build an entry, soldier, or we depinned. Not entry. Exit. Jonah dropped beside the pile, hands moving fast. Enforcers shouted warnings. He ignored them. Grabbed a charge standard K7. Volatile. Shaped it with sealant into a tight arrowhead, focused blast forward. Rigged det cord silent, no flash. Hull seam target. Maintenance hatch 2 bays over, Mara's route. Rel barked orders. Advance. Secure. The human. Vesha fired a suppressing burst from cover. Sparks rained. Jonah. Cover, he snapped. Charge done. 30 seconds fuse. Eerie unpacked her medkit beside him, assembling field triage. Auto-injectors, seal foam, stim packs, fast hands, medic precision, rolls, now, girls first out. Tala carries weak one, Cerny flanks, breaches. Jonah nodded, drilling as he taped the charge. Vesha, you and Eerie heard the kids. Stay low. No strays. Cerny, rear guard your shots count. Mara, shuttle hot on my signal. Tala, negotiate if patrols hit. Move only on my word. Widows locked eyes. Mara punched final chords. Maintenance lanes clear. Skiff drops you at seam. Ventral hull. Bay 7. Fleet blocks main docks 2 minutes till clamps. Rel closed to 20 meters. Last warning. Jonah palmed the rig charge. Go! He bolted for the side bulkhead. Widows peeling off with girls in tow. Cerny laid fire, 2 enforcers dropped, clutching scorched limbs. Jonah slapped the charge on the seam weld. Hiss of adhesive. Run. They piled into the skiff. Mara gunned thrusters. Skiff lurched through a service hatch. Rel's shots pinged off the ramp. Inside. Dim cargo hold. Girls whimpering. Tala soothed them. Low clicks of matriarch calm. Jonah strapped in. Fuse live. Breach on drop. Skiff dove into maintenance lanes, twisting vents. Power conduits flashing past. Mara wove like a needle. Her pilot instincts dodging autosensors. Hull seam ahead. Brace. Thump. Skiff latched to outer hull. Airlock cycled. Jonah grabbed his carbine, checked baton, and blade. I breach. You extract on green flare. Red means abort. Scatter to vents. Vesha gripped his arm. Sharp-tongued widow, now fierce. Come back whole. He met her eyes. Nod. Airlock spat him onto the hauler's skin. 0G tug. Mag boots clamping. Seam glowed under charge. He primed it. Pressed flat. Detonation whispered silent-shaped blast. Hull peeled open like foil. Alarms wailed inside. Jonah dove through. Carbine leading. Hauler corridor. Red emergency lights, steam hissing. 2 guards spun trafficker hires, not Rels. Jonah's baton cracked first jaw. Second, took elbow to throat. Down. Green flare. He keyed into comms. Skiff thrusters roared behind. Widows poured out. Girls clutched tight. Cerny dragged Voss's override fob, extra leverage. Erie scanned as they moved, patching a girl's cut mid-stride. Patrol klaxons howled. Footsteps echoed ahead. Jonah waved them into a side vent. Mara, plot extract. Copy. Rel's boarding main bays. Fleet inbound 90 seconds. They hustled through ducts, knees scraping metal. Tala led girls single file, her elder poise unbroken. Vesha stayed at Jonah's shoulder, pistol ready. Trust in every glance back. First enforcer, ambush hit at junction. Rel's squad. 4 strong. Plasma lanced. Jonah shoved Vesha down. Returned fire precise bursts. Infantry drill. 1 down. Headshot. Second winged. Cerny flanked left, nailed the third. My kill. Erie sealed the wingie's arm foam hiss, then fired her sidearm. Fourth fell. Rel's voice boomed over speakers. Rook. You shame the station. Widows complicit. Surrender or hull breach gasses you. Jonah kicked a grate open. He knows my moves. Voss must have talked. Ventral dock ahead. Mara's skiff waited. Ramp down. But clamps locked it. Fleet signatures blinked on Jonah's scavenged scanner. 3 cutters. Rel's flagship. Cut clamps, Jonah ordered. Cerny slapped plasma torch to work. Guards swarmed the dock lip. Bolts chewed the ramp. Jonah covered, carbine barking. 2 down. Girls huddled behind Erie and Tala. Vesha fired beside him. Plan B? Always. Jonah yanked his boot blade vibro edge, station black market. Threw it. Caught a guard's rifle hand. Cerny finished him. Torch sparked. Clamps sheared. Mara revved. Load! Jonah roared. Ever. Widows rushed girls aboard. Irie last, tossing Jonah a stim pack. For later, he injected mid-run. Adrenaline spiked. Last enforcers charged Rel at lead. Rifle leveled. Jonah skidded aboard, ramp winding up. Plasma grazed his shoulder burn. Ignored. Mara punched out. Skiff, bucking free. Rel's cutter loomed, tractors reaching. Nobody escapes. Skiff twisted into exhaust vents. Mara's nav genius roots no enforcer knew. Shutters rattled them. Girls cried out. Vesha held one close. Murmuring. Jonah patched his comm hack into hauler relays. Voss? Your rig's slagged. Bounty's on you now. Laughter from speakers Voss, patched through. Clever, Rook. But Fleet has your vector. Scanner lied. Mara masked them in a cargo swarm. Station looms receded. Free. Inside skiff, quiet fell. Girls stirred. Safe. Tala bowed to Jonah. Protector. Cerny clapped his back. Built good. Fought better. Eerie checked wounds. Restraint held. No panic kills. I release in with prostas. Minus prof did. Resident panis. Vesha leaned in, tendril brushing his hand. Bond sealed not words, but survival shared. But scopes pinged. Fleet turned. Not over. Rel hunted. Jonah gripped his carbine. 1 hour to safe drop. Fight waited. Jonah rammed the breaching charge against the container bay hatch. The explosive hissed once, then blew. Metal peeled back in a shower of sparks. He rolled through the gap. Carbine up. Sweeping shadows. Restraint racks lined the walls. Thin alien girls kin to the widows hung limp in harnesses, eyes wide with terror. Traffickers' work. Jonah zeroed the nearest guard. One burst. The raider slumped. First one. Jonah barked into his comm. He slashed the rack clamps with his vibro knife. The girl tumbled free. Light blue skin, trembling tendrils. He caught her, slung her over his shoulder. Light as a child. Footsteps pounded from the corridor. 2 raiders burst in, rifles cycling up. Jonah dropped low, fired suppressed rounds into their knee joints. They crumpled, screaming. No kills noise discipline held. Vesha vaulted through the breach behind him. Her knife flashed. She pinned a guard's comm line to the bulkhead, severing it clean. Talkers down. More coming. IB. Free them, Jonah said. He dumped the girl toward Irie, who waited at the hatch. Irie's medic hands worked fast, stim shot ready. Cerny torched the next rack. Metal glowed orange. This one's mine! The scavenger widow yanked her kin free, passing her to Mara. Mara stacked the girl in the skiff's hold. Routes? Clear outside. 30 seconds. Tala lingered at the breach, rifle covering. Hurry! Rel's signatures closing. Jonah hit the 3rd rack. Clamp sheared. Another girl gasped free. Her tendrils clutched his arm. Trust instant. Desperate. He pushed her toward Vesha. Vesha's eyes met his. Sharp. Unyielding. You fight like no exile I've seen. Save it. Jonah pivoted. 4th rack. His knife bit deep. Kervoss stepped from the shadows at the bay's far end. Human. Traitor to his own. Bald head scarred. Eyes cold. Rook. Knew you'd show. Jonah froze mid-cut. Voss held a dead man's switch. One twitch. And the alarm floods this station. Enforcers swarm. Your widows? First, against the wall. Girls whimpered in the racks. Jonah lowered his knife. Let them go. Your beef's with me. Voss laughed. Exile don't breach my bays. Bounty on you triples this. His thumb pressed. Alarm screamed. Red lights strobed. Bay doors groaned, sealing. Traitors! Vesha lunged. Voss backhanded her. She hit the deck, knife skittering. Jonah's muscles coiled. Bullets would shred the doors, trap them. No. Muscle. He charged. Voss fired wild plasma, scorched Jonah's vest. Jonah tackled low, drove Voss into a crate. Switch clattered free. Doors slammed shut. Sealed. Captives, still inside. Half free. Jonah! Eerie yelled through the hatch breach. Doors locked. Voss twisted, knife out. Jonah pinned his wrist, slammed it down. Bone cracked. Voss howled. Widows dragged the freed girls back. 4 safe, 2 racked. Doors hummed, pressure building. Jonah ripped Voss's panel access. Rig it. Leverage. Cerny tossed her plasma torch. Here. Jonah caught it. Ignited. Cut into the door's manual. Override a fist-sized wheel. Fused by alarm lockdown. Torch bit hydraulic lines. Fluid sprayed. Acrid. Rel's voice boomed over station comms. Surrender the human. Widows released if compliant. Lies. Tala spat. She fired at pounding feet outside the bay. Mara patched skiff engines. Tractors incoming. 10 seconds. Jonah wedged his carbine barrel into the override slot. Improvised lever. Braced his boots against the deck. Pulled. Nothing. Girls cried. One Rax captive thrashed. Harness cutting skin. Stim me. Jonah grunted to Eerie. She slapped the pack on his neck. Fire surged through veins. Strength doubled. He heaved. Metal screamed. Door budged an inch. Voss lunged from the floor. Grabbed Jonah's leg. Tripped him. Jonah kicked free. Boot cracking Voss's jaw. Blood sprayed. He reset the rig carbine deeper. Shoulder to stock. Pulled again. 2 inches. Hydraulics whined. Enforcers breaching outer hatch. Mara shouted. Plasma bolts punched through the bay wall. Scorched air. Jonah ignored. Pulled. Vesha knifed Voss' silent tendril around throat. For my sister. Door gaped 6 inches. Enough. Out! Jonah roared. He slashed the last racks. Girls spilled. Widows scooped them. Cerny torched a support beam. Collapsed it over the inner hatch, buying time. They piled through the gap. Jonah, last, dragging the final girl. Her tendrils wrapped his neck, grateful, clinging. Skiff ramp wind up. Mara punched thrust. They bucked free. Rel's cutter loomed on scopes. Tractors clawed. Nobody escapists. Mara twisted into exhaust vents. Station guts routes only a navigator knew. Shutters rattled the hull. Girls cried out. Vesha held one close, murmuring in their tongue. Calming clicks. Jonah patched his comm into hauler relays. Hacked Voss's frequency. Voss? Your rig's slagged. Bounty's on you now. Laughter crackled back. Voss? Alive somehow. Clever, Rook. Fleet has your vector. Scanner blipped lies. Mara masked them in a cargo swarm. Station spires receded. Free. Quiet fell inside the skiff. Girls stirred. Safe. Tala bowed low to Jonah. Protector. Cerny clapped his back hard. Built good. Fought better. Eerie checked his burns. Restraint held. No panic kills. Reber verd. Witherily word. Vesha leaned in. Her tendril brushed his hand. Lingered. Bond sealed not words, but survival shared. Scopes pinged. Fleet turned. Rel hunted. Jonah gripped his carbine. 1 hour to safe drop. Fight waited. Plasma lanced past the skiff's flank. Mara jinked. They're vectoring. Loaded. Jonah braced a console. Arm the girl's restraints. Eerie. Triage. Station. Eerie nodded. Tendrils flying over medkits. Wounds minor. Stim crash incoming for you. Cerny scavenged a bulkhead panel. Rigging flares. Blind. Their scopes. Tala murmured to the captives. Safe now. He came. Vesha slit beside Jonah. Why muscle the door? Guns faster. Stranded us, Jonah said. Dead girls. Her eyes gleamed. Humans. Break. What shouldn't? Pursuit closed. Cutters flanked the swarm. Rel's voice hacked through. Rook. Stand down. Exile ends in chains. Jonah patched back. Try it. Mara dove into a service tunnel. Hull groaned. Sparks flew inside. Cerny lobbed her flare rig. Blossomed outside blinding flash. Scopes whited out. Got 'em, Mara whooped. Burst free into outer lanes. Fleet scattered. Recalibrating. 10 minutes shaved off. Jonah's stim faded. Shoulder burned. He pushed it down. Vesha pressed a cool cloth to it. Rest. We watch. He met her gaze. Sharp tongue silenced. Trust earned. Drop point neared a derelict hauler, Widow's safe haven. But scopes cleared. Rel's cutter realigned. Tractors locked. Impact in 60, Mara warned. Jonah stood. Cerny, torch the exhaust vents. Mara, faint, left. Cerny ignited. Flames jetted back, counter-thrust. Marta rolled. Jonah sighted his carbine through the canopy port. Single shot. Hit, Rel's tractor emitter. Sparked out. Cutter veered. Collision warning blared station-wide. They slipped the net. Hauler loomed. Ramp dropped into 0G shadow. Girls ferried aboard by Tala and Erie. Safe. But Jonah lingered. Scopes pinged faint Voss's signature. Trailing. Not over, he said. Vaisha gripped his arm. Then we finish it. Together. Her tendril twined his wrist. First. Touch of more. Fleet chatter spiked. Reinforcements. Jonah nodded. Protector now. For them all. Skiff sealed. Marta vectored deep. Fight. Cutters screamed past the hauler's viewport. Jonah braced against the bulkhead. Red lights strobed the dim hold. Mara yanked the skiff's controls. Rel's locking the docks. All outbound lanes sealed. Vaisha's tendril tightened on his wrist. Our kin are still with Voss. 2 bays over. In his raid ship, Jonah scanned the console. Station schematics flickered. Freight tunnels snaked below the main drags, clogged with toxic spills and live cargo. No other way. We punch through freight. Mara. Plot it. Tala leaned in, her elder's frills quivering. Blocks Rel. Jonah cut her off. He grabbed his carbine. Stim pack hissed into his thigh. Pain faded. Focus sharpened. Erie patched Cerny's singed arm. Captains hailing station-wide. Manhunt. Your face, Jonah. Bounty tripled. Cerny grinned, flexing. Mine too. Now. Let's scrap. Alarms blared dockside. Rel's voice boomed from public feeds. All units. Exile human rook sighted. Lethal force authorized. Widows Talan. KL. Pavo. Dane. Vorn harboring fugitive forfeits protection. Station turned. Drones buzzed the hauler's hull. Lockdown klaxons wailed. C. Kroos. Juan. Jonah shouldered the hatch. Move. Now. They spilled into the hauler's 0G core. Talamag locked the young kin 5 wide-eyed hatchlings, rescued from the first raid into alcoves. Safe here. Go get the rest. Mara vectored the skiff into freight lanes. Hulls loomed, stamped with hazard placards. ACID. Flam. Rad. Jonah clung to the canopy frame. Scopes pinged. Rel's cutters closing. First blockade ahead, Mara said. Armored drone net. Cerny rummaged her pack. Decoy time? Not yet. Jonah eyed a rad hauler drifting lazy. Warning placard gleamed. Fission byproduct, do not breach. He kicked off. Glided to the skiff's cargo claw. Snagged the edge. Ripped the placard free. Adhesive explosives laced the back standard station tamper-proof. Pursuers lit scopes. 3 cutters banked in. Jonah hurled the placard. It spun. Stuck to the lead cutter's intake. Seconds ticked. Boom. Vent spewed plasma. Cutter yawed, slamming a bulkhead. Wreckage sparked. Vesha whistled low. Human trick. Placards as bombs? Station rules. Jonah grabbed another from a passing acid drum, lobbed it at the second cutter. Splat. Corrosive foam ate through armor. Pilot ejected in panic. Erie's voice crackled from the skiff. Rad exposure spiking. Shields at 60. Third cutter fired. Bolts scorched the void. Jonah twisted mid-glide. Fired his carbine. Missed. Cutter looped for tractor lock. Hazardous freight thickened. Live cryopods tumbled, venting frost. Jonah rerouted hard. Mara. Dive under that cryo stack. Use it for cover. Skiff dove. Pods clanged off hull. Cutter followed. Too tight. Collision shredded its wing. Spun out. They burst into clearer lanes. Mara whooped. Freight tunnel fork. Voss's raid ship dead ahead Bay 9. But scopes flared. Rel's flagship cutter loomed. Cannons hot. Hauler Bay. Surrender the exile. Hask Rel. Barked over open channel. Widows. Stand down, or join your kin in chains. Dockwide manhunt peaked. Patrol skiffs swarmed. Civilians scattered, sealing hatches. Jonah dropped back aboard. Breath ragged. Shoulder throbbed under Erie's field dressing. Voss profits from this chaos. He's loading the last captives now. Sorny slapped a beacon into his palm. My salvage special. Mimics our signature. Drop it? Vesha shook her head. Public dock next. We need a cargo hauler big enough for all. Mara banked toward the main freight yard. Shuttles clogged the pads. Workers gawked as Rel's drones circled. Hotwire 1, Jonah said. Cerny, your beacon splits them. Skiff skimmed low. Mara picked a beast. Unmarked cargo hauler, ramps down, engines cold. Voss's crew loaded crates nearby. Alien forms shuffling under guard. Cerny mag boosted out. Planted the beacon on a dummy pod. Activated. Fake signature bloomed on scope's skiff duplicate. Vectoring opposite. Pursuers split. Half chased the ghost. Mara dove into the hauler's underbelly. Sparks flew from her tools. Old lock. Human standard override? No alien weave. She sliced tendrils with a vibro knife. Engines coughed alive. Jonah covered the ramp. Voss's thugs spotted them. Blasters barked. He returned fire. Dropped one. Load up. Widows hauled kin aboard. Tala directed the hatchlings. Erie triaged a grazed arm. 1-8, grazed arm. Rel's voice cut through. Hauler identified. All units converge. Rook is mine. Hauler lurched. Mara gunned it. Ramp slammed shut. They plowed through the yard. Thugs scattered, but Voss himself emerged from the raid ship hold. Tall human. Scarred face. Eyed Jonah through the dust. Rook? Station? Exile. Should have known. He raised a heavy pistol. Fired. Bolt punched the hauler's flank. Jonah ducked. Returned fire. Public feed cameras whirred. Dock workers froze. Station security closed. Vesha yanked Jonah back. Her hand clamped his four-fingered grip. Tendril coiling urgent. She faced the feeds, the crowds, Rel's incoming cutters. Attention. Vesha. Bellowed. Voice amplified by dock speakers. Widow protocol, auto-linked. By matriarch law, Jonah Rook claims widow protection. He fights for our lost. Exile. No more guardian bound. Gasps rippled. Dock workers murmured. Widow law ancient code. Harborers gained sanctuary if protector proved. Rel's cutter braked hard. Lies. He's criminal prey. Tala stepped forward, elder authority flaring. Witnessed. He pulled our kin from Voss's chains. Protection holds. Erie flashed med scans. Wounds prove it. Human endurance saved 3 tonight. Cerny lobbed a flare. Lit the yard. See the beacon chase? Our split. Mara revved the hauler. Engines roared outbound. Jonah felt eyes hundreds. Station turned. Not all hostile. Whispers. Voss snarled, rallying thugs. Blaster fire intensified. Jonah fired back, dropping 2. Grabbed a crate for cover. Pulled Vesha down. Her hand stayed locked in his. Tendril pulsed warm. You choose us. He nodded. Fired again. Voss retreated to his ship. Rel's flagship hovered. Tractors whined. Probing. Hauler shields buckled under first hit. Mara jinked. Lanes still blocked. Freight vents below tight squeeze. 2. Jonah checks scopes. Voss's raid ship powered up. Trailing close. He knows my moves. Infantry tells. Cerny patched a hull breach. Then improvise. My rad placards left? Eerie nodded. 3. Toxic brew. Tala gripped a strut. Law buys time. Docks split half-heat us. Crowds parted. Some workers waved them through. Jonah sighted through a view slit. Rel's emitter glowed. He aimed. Steady breath. Squeezed. Shot lanced. Emitter sparked. Tractor failed. Hauler dove into vents. Mara whooped. Clear. But Voss matched. Heavy guns chewed the rear. Vesha pressed against Jonah. Kin aboard. All 10 now. You did this. He reloaded. Felt her pulse sink his. Protector earned. Vents narrowed. Freight pods blocked half. Collision loomed. Cerny beacon 2. Jonah ordered. She triggered. Second ghost split Rel's remnants. Voss stayed glued. Rook. Old regiment. You shame us humans. Jonah ignored. Grabbed a placard from the hold, acid flash. Armed it. Kicked ramp half open. 0G. Toss. Placard stuck to Voss's nose cone. E. Acid flash erupted across Voss's nose cone. Corrosive foam bubbled. Eating through sensors. The raid ship veered wild. Mara punched throttles. Hauler surged ahead. Vents spat them into outer docks. Airlocks loomed. Clamshell doors half open on freight pads. Crowds scattered. Workers gawked at the battered hauler. Voss recovered fast. His ship sealed the bay. Docking clamps locked. No escape. Jonah gripped the console. Mara, hard park. Cerny, ramp down. Eerie, medkit ready. Vesha clutched his arm. Traitor kind. Jonah chambered around. Rifle hummed live. Airlock hissed. Voss strode out, flanked by 2 raiders. Powered armor. Gleamed. Plasma rifle. Leveled. Rook. Old regiment brother. Surrender. Command offers reinstatement. Full honors. Your name cleared. Jonah stepped onto the ramp. Widows fanned behind. Tala's tablet glowed in her grip. Ledger data scrolled. Crowd murmured. Dockhands edged closer. Station enforcers held back. Rel's flagship inbound. Scopes showed. Voss smirked through his visor. These Xeno widows? Collateral. Hand 'em over. Walk away rich. Jonah sighted down irons. Steady. Kin first. Captives inside. Alive. Raiders shifted. Voss laughed. You? Exiled grunt hiding in scrap? Infantry tells, don't scare me. Jonah thumbed cargo controls. Hauler's arm whirred magnetized claw loaded with ore crate. It swung wide. Clanged Voss's rifle barrel. Pinned it to deck. Raiders fired wild. Jonah dropped one with body shot. Second crumpled to Erie's stun dart. Voss yanked free. Armor servos whined. He charged. Jonah sidestepped. Tackled low. Human weight slammed Voss down. Fists flew. Voss's helmet cracked under Jonah's elbow. Regiment shame? Jonah growled. Pinned Voss's arm. You traffic kin. For credits. Voss bucked. Survival, Rook. Humans stick together. Jonah wrenched the rifle away. Tossed it to Cerny. She caught. Aimed steady. Crowd swelled. Workers yeared. Trafficker. Tala raised her tablet. Broadcast pinged station-wide. Ledger open. Voss's runs. Names. Dates. Our mates stolen. Holoscreens flickered. Data flooded docks. Gasps rippled. Dockhands surged forward. Tools raised. Voss spot blood. Lies. Rel's enforcers dropped in. Shuttles touched down. Captain Hask. Rel stormed through. Emitter ready. Voss. Stand down. Crowd parted. Chants rose. Justice. Free the kin. Jonah hauled Voss up. Rifle to his back. Captives in hauler hold. 10 aliens. Your ledger matches. Rel scanned the data, nodded sharp. Enforcers cuffed raiders. Dragged Voss aboard a shuttle. He glared at Jonah. This ain't over, Rook. Humans don't bow to Xenos. Jonah shoved him forward. I choose who I protect. Eerie and Cerny unloaded captives. Frail forms stirred. Medic scans beeped green. Widows rushed in. Tears. Embraces. Vesha pressed close to Jonah. Her tendril brushed his wrist. Warm pulse. You forced the exchange. On your terms. Mara grinned. Lane's clear now. Crowd's ours. Tala faced Rel. We trusted the exile. He delivered. Rel Jonah. Rifle slung loose. You shot my emitter. Broke regs. Jonah met his gaze. Had to. Vents tight. Rel grunted. Station law holds. Voss's ledger buries him. Captives confirmed. He signaled med teams. But you, exile, stands. No reinstatement here. Jonah nodded. Expected it. Fair. Widows gathered. Cerny slapped his shoulder. Scavenger debt paid. Parts were yours. Eerie checked his bruises. Restraint held. No kills wasted. Mara plotted a vector. Outer rims open.